No one really knew what was about to happen that night. The lights had already dimmed, the echoes of cheers still lingering in the air long after the final bow. Fans were slowly leaving, holding on to memories they knew they would replay over and over again. But somewhere behind the stage, away from the cameras, something quietly unfolded. Something so unexpected that when whispers of it began to surface, armies across the world couldn't stop talking about it. Because this wasn't just another backstage moment. This was personal, and it involved someone fans rarely see, Jungkook's mother. Now, pause for a second and think about that. How often do we hear about the families behind global superstars like BTS? They exist, of course, always supporting from the shadows, shaping the people we admire so much, but they rarely step into the spotlight. So when they do, even indirectly, it immediately feels different, more intimate, more real. And that's exactly why this moment hit so hard. According to fans and insider accounts that quickly spread across social media, Jimin had just finished an emotionally charged performance. You could see it in his expression, exhaustion mixed with fulfillment, that quiet glow artists carry after giving everything they have on stage. He wasn't performing anymore, he was just being himself. Then, something unexpected happened. A staff member approached him. Not unusual, it happens all the time. But what was unusual was what came next. A small, carefully wrapped item. At first, Jimin looked confused. You could almost imagine his expression, slightly tilted head, soft eyes trying to understand what was going on. Who was it from? Why now? And then he heard it. This is from Jungkook's mother. Let that sink in. Not from Jungkook, not from a brand, not from management, but from his mother. If you've followed BTS for years, you already know how deep the bond between the members is. They're not just bandmates. They've grown up together, struggled together, built something extraordinary together. They are, in many ways, a family. But this felt like something beyond even that. This felt like being accepted into someone's real family. Jimin reportedly froze for a moment, and honestly, can you blame him? What do you even say in that situation? How do you react when the mother of one of your closest friends, someone who raised him, supported him, shaped who he is, reaches out to you in such a personal way? There's something incredibly powerful about that, because gifts aren't always about the object itself. Sometimes they're about what they represent. So what was inside? That's where things get even more interesting. Some say it was something simple, something meaningful, not flashy, not expensive, but deeply personal. Others speculate it may have been something handmade or something symbolic tied to family, tradition, or comfort. And honestly, that uncertainty almost makes it more emotional, because it shifts the focus away from what the gift was and onto why it was given. Why would Jungkook's mother send something to Jimin? What did she see in him? What did she feel? Was it gratitude, affection, recognition of how much Jimin means to her son? Or maybe something even deeper, an acknowledgement that Jimin isn't just a friend or a bandmate, but someone who has become part of their extended family in a way that words can't fully capture. Think about all the years BTS spent training, living together, pushing through challenges that most people will never understand. Through injuries, doubts, criticism, and overwhelming pressure, they stood side by side. And in those moments, who do you think was there for Jungkook? Who helped him grow from a shy teenager into the confident global star we see today? Jimin. Their relationship has always been one of the most talked about among fans, not just because of their chemistry, but because of how genuine it feels. The way they support each other, tease each other, comfort each other. It doesn't look staged, it feels lived in, real. So maybe this gift wasn't random at all. Maybe it was long overdue. Imagine being a parent watching from afar, watching your child navigate an intense, demanding career, seeing the people around them, not just the spotlight moments, but the behind-the-scenes struggles, the late nights, the pressure, the vulnerability. And then noticing someone who's always there, someone who lifts your child up when they're down. someone who celebrates their wins like they're their own, someone who doesn't just stand beside them, but stands for them. Wouldn't you feel something? Wouldn't you want to say thank you? And maybe, just maybe, that's what this was, a quiet thank you. Not through a speech, not through a public statement, but through a simple, heartfelt gesture. And that's what makes it so powerful, because in a world where everything is often loud, public, and performative, this moment felt different. It felt human. Fans quickly began sharing their reactions online, and the response was overwhelming. Words like heartwarming, beautiful, and unexpected flooded timelines. Some admitted they got emotional just thinking about it. Others started reflecting on their own friendships, their own connections, their own unspoken bonds. Because that's the thing about moments like this. They don't just tell a story about celebrities. They remind us of something deeper, something universal. The importance of being seen, the power of appreciation, the quiet impact of showing someone they matter. And let's be honest, how often do we actually do that in our own lives? How often do we take a moment to acknowledge the people who support us, who stand by us, who help shape who we are? Not publicly, not for attention, but privately, sincerely. That's what makes this story resonate. It's not just about Jimin, it's not just about Jungkook, it's about connection. Now, here's something worth thinking about. How did Jimin respond? While there's no official footage capturing the exact moment, fans who claim to have witnessed parts of it describe him as visibly touched, quiet, reflective. That quiet glow artists carry after giving everything they have on stage. He wasn't performing anymore, he was just being himself. You can almost picture it, can't you? The way he gently holds the gift, the way his eyes soften, the way he processes not just the object, but the meaning behind it. Because Jimin, as we know, is someone who feels deeply. He's expressive, empathetic, incredibly aware of the people around him. So for something like this to happen, it likely meant more than words could express.
And that brings us to another question. Did Jungkook know? Was this planned together, or was it a surprise for him too? Imagine Jungkook finding out later. Imagine the conversation. Imagine the quiet smile, maybe even a little embarrassment mixed with pride. Because if there's one thing we've seen time and time again, it's how much Jungkook respects and cares for Jimin. So knowing that his own mother reached out in that way, it must have meant something to him as well. And maybe that's what makes this story so layered. It's not just one connection, it's multiple. Jimin and Jungkook, Jungkook and his mother, Jimin and Jungkook's mother. 3 points forming a triangle of trust, care, and mutual respect. And that's rare, especially in an industry as demanding as K-pop. So when something like this happens, it stands out, it lingers. It becomes one of those stories fans carry with them, not because it was loud or dramatic, but because it felt real, because it reminded them that behind the fame, behind the performances, behind the global recognition, there are still moments of quiet humanity, moments that don't need a stage, moments that don't need an audience, moments that simply exist. And maybe that's why armies couldn't stop talking about it, not because they were trying to uncover every detail, but because they felt something. They connected with it. They saw a piece of something genuine in a world that often feels carefully curated. And isn't that what we're all looking for? Something real, something honest, something that reminds us that even in the biggest, most extraordinary lives, it's the smallest gestures that matter most. So the next time you think about BTS, about their journey, about their bond, remember this moment. Not the performances, not the awards, not the headlines, but this, a quiet gift from a mother to someone who mattered. And if this story made you feel something, if it made you pause, reflect, or even smile, don't just scroll past. Take a second. Think about someone in your life who's been there for you. And maybe, just maybe, find your own way to say thank you. Because sometimes the smallest gestures create the biggest impact. And who knows, maybe your story will be the one that leaves someone else speechless.
If you enjoyed this story and want more emotional, behind-the-scenes moments like this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments, what do you think was inside the gift, and how would you react if you were in Jimin's place?